producers of this hydraulic fracking technology. So we really have an urgent need to improve this industry. I compare it, it's sort of an industry that's living in the 19th century. It's certainly time to bring them into the 21st century. We know that thousands of wells have gone bad. That's clearly established. There's been thousands of toxic spills. But the industry continues to buy out those they harm, thus preventing any record of harm. It goes hand in hand, you realize. When one of these ranchers comes up against the industry, they find out either a domestic well or some portion of their property has been contaminated, and there's adequate proof. There's often negotiation between the landowner and the attorneys for the industry. And every one of those cases ends up with the landowner making a financial agreement. I mean, they've got their back to the wall. They need to get out or get clean. And they all agree, almost all of them agree, to a non-disclosure agreement, agreement of silence. As a result, we don't understand what went wrong. Literally, buried. And then the other aspect is, that the next two speakers can speak to, is how we're getting these consistent, admittedly anecdotal complaints about in human health from the field. We're seeing the same pattern, whether it's Dimock or Pavilion, Wyoming, or West Slope, Colorado. We have people with headaches and nosebleeds and neuropathy and eventually tumors. We don't know what's going on. But we don't have scientific connection between the exposures, the pathway, and these anecdotal results of public health problems. But we do know how to improve this industry. I mean, there's two ways you can do it. You can not drill. That's the safest. But there's going to be drill. A lot of this is associated sort of as a private transaction between the industry and the owner of the mineral estate. It'd be like the government trying to interfere me selling my house to Terra. I mean, it is private contract negotiation, so it's very difficult to interfere. It means we're going to have drilling. We're certainly likely to see many thousands of wells here in the Marcellus, as we already have. I would like to see the industry, I would especially like to see home rule cities take this on and make the industry perform. You can test this industry in their air and water and emissions, and only allow drilling to go on if that company's met the test. If they haven't met the test, clean it up before you drill the next one. It's called performance-based obligations. Certainly as citizens, we can press our congressmen and senators to change these exemptions. Let's get some control here from the federal government under the Safe Drinking Water Act, Clean Water Act, and CERCLA. As a student of government, I can't stand it that we have just one layer regulating this industry. Just states regulate down home. In other words, we don't have a federal referee at the top. We don't have local government checking from the bottom. The industry has got every state legislature to approve the same type of process. Only as states are allowed to regulate downhole. It's called preemption by states. We can expand that. We can have the federal government and the local government play a significant role to keep the checks and balances going.